Welcome to another episode of the Mother Made Podcast. I am your host, Whitney, and I am so excited today, y'all, because this episode, I'm really going to be digging into the topic of health and wellness. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, because if you are looking to grow and become a better mom through motherhood, this is the space you want to be in. I have built a community of MUVAHS, as I like to call it, but really what it is a group of women who are on a journey towards becoming and being better through motherhood. And we have created this alliance together where we talk about topics related to parenting, motherhood, and sometimes just a little kiki, just so you can have somebody to laugh and kick it with. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you head on over to the Motherhood Circle on Facebook, because that's where we be at. All right. And that's about it. Okay, so let's get into today's topic, because I'm excited. Okay. So today I'm excited because, like, y'all, I have honestly, like, low-key become like this health like nerd type thing, yo. Like, I love health and wellness. So like this episode is going to be kind of like me sharing my health and wellness journey, because I feel like sometimes the stuff that you go through in life, it helps other people when you share your own journey. And that's why I always tell people, don't be ashamed of what you went through or gone through or nothing like that, because sometimes it can help other people go through that same situation, but learn how to navigate it in a different way. And so today, that's why I'm sharing my story. Y'all need to hear this. And I don't even think it's just for y'all. It's also for me. Like, I need to share this with someone, because I need to be able to release it and share it to the world, because it's something that I've been dealing with myself personally. And like, I hear sometimes you guys write me comments and things like that on social media. If you follow me, you can find me on Instagram at The Real Whitney B. But honestly, y'all, I feel like a lot of times these are topics that we all go through, but just ain't nobody really talking about it like that. But this is real stuff. And so a lot of the work that I do centers around my 5-step process. And if you haven't already, you might want to go back to the beginning of the podcast where I break down the 5-step process that I really feel like will help you reclaim yourself through motherhood. It's 5 steps, and they all MUVAHS. They go through my 5-step process of how I feel like I've really learned how to become a mother, own who I am, reclaim my identity, and be able to share the things that I'm sharing with you guys today. So if that's something you're interested in, go back to the beginning of the podcast when it first aired. There's just a few episodes before this one, and you can find out more about how this mother movement really started and what it really has a basis on. So yeah, go back to the podcast and like tell somebody to like and share and all that kind of stuff. Y'all know, keep me popping. But anyway, let me tell y'all this. Okay, so let's get into the tea. Okay, let me talk about my health and wellness journey, right? Because I feel like I share a lot of photos of like my before and after, but I don't really share like what it took mentally for me to even get to the point where I'm at today, right? And so today, what I really want to talk about is how I even got to the point where right now I'm a full-on vegan. But in the beginning, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, your girl was eating ribs, chicken, steaks, and all that, okay? I am a Southern girl. If y'all don't know that already, I am from Greenwood, South Carolina, and baby, we eat, okay? And so it's been a huge adjustment for me learning from how to eat like a Southern girl into eating like a Southern healthy girl. So this journey has been like challenging in so many different ways, not even just in just choosing different foods, but it's also in me learning how to adapt to my culture in a different way. Like culturally, Southern foods is embedded in your girl. So now I have to learn how to still eat like that, still have that rich, deep, hearty Southern goodness, but be able to do it in a way where I can still say that my body is benefiting from the things that I'm putting inside of it, right? So my whole health journey, y'all, let me just tell you this. My whole health journey started when I started doing daycare. I started doing daycare when I quit my job. So funny. I used to work in daycare on an Army base, and I quit. I quit the job. I really felt like I was suffocated in my career. I didn't feel like I had an opportunity to advance and do the things that I wanted to do. So I put my 2 weeks in and I quit. And a lot of people say, oh, do this and that before you quit. But my whole thing is you have to do what works for you. And for me, my mental health was way more important than me staying at a job where I was about to whoop somebody's Okay. And for me, I'm so passionate about the work that I do. I love children. I love childcare and everything like that. And if I ever feel like I'm in a space where I have to be between me and my mental health, baby, I'm out. Okay. And so I quit my job. I sure did. I put in my 2 weeks notice and I finished my 2 weeks and I bopped. And when I left, I started my own daycare. And when I started my own daycare, I started it in my home. Okay. So when I first started my daycare, everything was fine. I maybe had about 3 to 4 children. And then things started to pick up, right? Because people started seeing me. People started branding me myself. My neighbors literally started branding me as the daycare lady because I started getting so many kids and so many people inquiry to the point where I had a wait list and up to about 13 kids at the point. And at that time, like, that was a lot. 13 kids, and I ended up having to hire an assistant, and I was also pregnant at the time. So if y'all are moms and y'all know I was pregnant, had one child, 13 kids up in my house, and an assistant. Shit was real, okay? Shit was real. But in the same sense, I can honestly say, y'all, I love the work that I do. And I feel like that point in my life was so pivotal because I learned so much about different walks of life and different strategies and ways to teach and learn and all those type of things. So I benefited so much from that time in my life. And that's what prompted me to start my parent consulting company in the first place. That's what started me on the journey towards real motherhood parent consulting company. It's why I started, because I had been exposed to so many different types of children and from so many different types of lights. But I felt like there was a need for someone to kind of merge everything that parents were doing with the things that are going on with school to help give kids a well-rounded experience and to improve the overall household environment in general. So that's what prompted Real Motherhood Parent Consulting Company in the first place, right? So it's just like all the things that I went through in that time period, although it was a lot at the time, I'm very thankful for that. So I don't want to ever make it seem like, I'm not thankful for that time in my life, because I am so thankful for that time in my life. But going back to this tea, baby, listen, y'all, the reality of it is working all them hours, having all them kids and doing all that work, it exhausted the fuck out of me. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. And because it exhausted me so much, I didn't realize how damaging it was to my health. Yo, I was in and out the hospital like crazy. And the reason why, I have no idea. Every time I went to the doctor, they could see nothing. There was nothing wrong. I'm getting, what's the thing that you put into your arm? I don't even know what those are called. Whatever. I had those IV. They were putting IVs in my arms. I was doing blood work. I was doing everything. And all of that ended up being me just kind of dealing with overexertion and stress. If I'm being completely honest with you, it was overexertion and stress from constantly going and putting so much on my plate at once. And that's when I got to a point where I was just like, dang, I really need to slow down. Right? So at that point, like I told y'all, I was pregnant. Noticed I needed to slow down. Noticed that I had a lot of children. Noticed those things. But at the same time, y'all know how it is sometimes. Hey, I know I need to slow down, but these bills don't slow down, baby. So I got to keep pushing. So what did I do? I kept pushing. And I kept pushing, even though the doctor said you really shouldn't. And what ended up happening, I ended up going right back to the doctor, and they ended up doing a EKG scan on my heart and found that I had heart murmurs. And so it got to a point where my health really started to be something I started to notice that I needed to pay attention to. So I was like, all right, I'm going to chill out on keeping so many children and working so many hours. So I cut my hours back from work, and I started using the off days to focus in on making sure I was taking care of my health. So I started walking. That's it. On my off days, I would just find time to just walk. Even if I couldn't walk, I actually like running. So I would just try it a little bit and I would run. But you ain't got to run. Like, you can do whatever you feel like. But for me, that's what I did. I just started walking. Or even if I ain't walk, I would just like, all right, I'm going to just eat such and such today. And that would be my diet for that day. You know what I'm saying? I would eat the things that I know would make me feel better, right? And so I was doing that for a while, not really paying attention to the diet aspect of it as much as the physical, like running and stuff like that, but definitely doing both at the same time, right? And so while I'm on that journey and I'm doing those things, I'm realizing that although I'm running and I'm taking care of myself, yo, I'm burnt the hell out. I'm tired. So yeah, I'm taking care of myself, but yo, I don't have the energy to work out because I'm tired. But people telling me that I need energy to work out. And I'm like, how does this work? How do we do this? So what I ended up doing, what I ended up discovering is that a lot of my lack of energy had a lot to do with the foods that I was eating. And I did not realize that until I started doing some research and start honestly slowing down and paying attention. Like I told y'all, I started taking them days off from work. So as I had those days off from working, my schedule that I normally had, I also had time to actually sit down and listen to my body and see what's going on. So as I'm sitting down listening to my body, I'm noticing that sometimes after I eat, I feel nauseous as hell. Or sometimes after I eat, I feel lightheaded. Or sometimes after I eat, I feel sluggish and tired. And I started paying attention to that. And I went to the doctor and I asked him about that because low-key thought I was pregnant at the time with my husband. So I was like, shit, you know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to have no more babies, boy. I ain't done with that shit. But it wasn't pregnancy at all. It wasn't any of that. The doctor basically told me that, yeah, some foods may make you feel sick after you eat them. And I said, okay, cool. What foods do that? She couldn't give me an answer. She couldn't give me an answer. And then at that point, I was just like, how you don't know what food's going to make me sick? And then I started looking at it and I was like, girl, why I don't know what food's going to make me sick? How I'm coming to a doctor asking them what food's going to make me sick? And they ain't sitting here watching me eat my food and doing what I'm doing. This is on me. So what I did was I started paying attention to how I felt after I ate. After I ate food, if I started feeling sick, nauseous, anything like that, I stopped eating the shit. Honestly, I stopped eating it because those things were not helping me to continue to walk daily. These foods are not helping me get on the path towards walking and taking care of myself and exercising and having the energy I want to do that. So these foods got to go. And a lot of times this requires a level of discipline. Right? Because we can see in front of our face what we need to do, but we won't do it because it ain't what we want to do. And a lot of times you have to be stronger than your cravings and realize that, yeah, it may taste good, but what's going to make me feel good and get me to where I need to be so that I can take care of myself and be the mother my kids need me to be. At the end of the day, I know that it's important for me to let this chicken, cheeseburgers, and steaks and stuff go. Because those honestly were the things that were making me sick as hell, y'all. Those were the things that I started to realize the first. It was red meat and chicken and all that. Those were the things that were really getting me sick. And I was feeling the most nauseous and the most tired after I ate that stuff. And a lot of times we color it up and we call it the itis. But baby, food is supposed to make us feel energized and give us the strength to propel ourselves to move forward. I'm going to just put it like that. And at the same time, I feel like we've normalized having the itis so much that we don't realize how that does not support us sometimes in moving forward in the things we want in other areas of our life. Like me having the itis does not support me in trying to get on track to actually exercise and stay consistent with that. It don't. Because I'm eating shit that's making me not want to do that. So what it required for me is to say, either I'm going to choose these whatever chocolate, whatever I was eating at the time, or I'm going to choose my health and my well-being. I chose my health and my well-being. I did. And so what I did was I cut out the red meats and all that stuff first. And then eventually I cut out shrimp, chicken, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, shrimp and seafood and all that stuff too. I cut it all out. But that was what did not work with my body. Those were the things that were making me feel sluggish. Those were the things that were making me feel sick and nauseous. Your body may be different from mine. That's fine too. But what the point is, what makes you feel how you don't want to feel? What foods are making you feel like how you don't want to feel? Because if you know the foods that make you how you don't want to feel, now you know how to change it so you can feel how you want to feel. But a lot of times we're not even paying attention to that because we're so worried about what everybody else is doing. Because as mothers, we have so many roles to take care of. So it's like a lot of times it's not even intentional. It's just like, dang, I got so much to do. I forgot all about it. I wasn't even paying attention to it. I didn't even realize how these foods are making me feel. And so I'm sharing this story because I think sometimes we don't notice the impact we have on the people around us when we don't slow down and pay attention to our own selves. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we damn sure can't take care of these little people around us or these big people around us. Whatever your lifestyle is, we can't do it because there's nothing being taken care of here. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned through that journey of my own health journey is that I have to be in a space where I can hear me. I have to be in a space where I can hear me. Because if I'm not in a space where I can hear me, I'm no longer being guided by what supports me and get me where I want to go. Because I can't hear me. The only thing I'm hearing is what everybody else needs and what everybody else wants. That does not support me in being the person that I need to be for the people who need me. So right now, what I have to do is discipline myself to do the thing that I don't want to do so I can be the person who I know I need to be for the people who I love and care about dearly. Bars. But y'all get what I'm saying? Like, for real. Really. That's the reality of it. And a lot of times, I know it's not the sexy thing, but it's the real thing. It's what it is. We got to call it like it is. You know what I'm saying? So this episode was basically me sharing my journey in hopes of supporting someone else and saying that I can do this. Because sometimes you need some inspiration, you need some motivation, you need some, hey, what can I do to stay consistent or keep going? That's what you can do. You start listening to you. You get yourself in a space where you can hear you. And when you get yourself in a space where you can hear you, you'll know what is not supporting you and being where you're trying to go because you can hear you. The moment you stop being able to hear you, that's when everything else around you changes. Get in a space where you can hear you. And if you don't take nothing else from this episode, take that. Take that. I ain't got no sense. Y'all know I get on here. I speak some stuff. I say my mother empowerment, my motivation. I say all my stuff. But I also get on here and get a little kiki every now and then because y'all know how I like to cut up. That's why y'all need to join the Motherhood Circle. If you haven't already, joined the Motherhood Circle on Facebook. Subscribe, like, and share this podcast out because we do this every other Thursday. And I am so excited to keep the party going. You feel me? So thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is another episode of the Mother May I podcast. Join the tribe. Meet us in the Motherhood Circle on Facebook. You can find me on social media at The Real Whitney B. And thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see y'all next time.